Hi everyone. So I'm in a new place and it's not what I expected. This place is a third of what I've been paying everywhere else. But even though I have my own space and I'm sharing it with other people, it feels more like a boarding house. There's, I believe, 11 rooms in this house. I am staying in room number 8. God had been showing me this place. And it's interesting because the woman who runs the, the house has the same name as me, Diana. And I moved in here. So let me back up. I got my money, my paycheck, like I normally do. But the date that I was scheduled to leave the other place that I was in was before there was availability in this house. And I did have a choice. I could have gone back to the house that I was before, the one with the pool and the big room. This is still a big room. I have my own bathroom. It has a huge tub, which I love to take baths. It's my happy time. Helps me de-stress from the day. When I got, so I left the other house, the RV I was in on Thursday. I was supposed to have a place to stay for a period of time starting that day, but this place wasn't ready. It wasn't available. So I sorry. I had to stay in a hotel. Now I was only going to rent the hotel for the night. Father said, rent it until Sunday. And for a split second, I was like, but, I could just have my dog sit in the car the few hours that I'm going to be at work. Well, it turned out, had I not listened to Father and booked the hotel for 2 nights, my dog would have been in the car all day. Because when I got to work, the young lady that I was working with, and I have been friends with since not since she started, it kind of grew into that. She got sick on Thursday. She needed me to come into work, but God said no. And I was like, I was him-hawing about it. And I was like, no, I can't. And I kept sending her other places, other people. And so did the manager. And the reason I'm speaking so low is because the walls are so thin and we have quiet times. And we're not allowed to make noise during quiet times. Now, at this point, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and quiet time is over. But people work nights, so I'm being courteous to those who are worked all night so that they don't get disturbed by my loud speaking. So on Friday, I wasn't supposed to work till close, But I did. I closed. So I didn't get out of work until 8, no, until 11:30. And then, oh no, midnight, because it was late when I got home. And then I woke up the next day to go be at work at 9. So when I got to work at 9, the girl was like not feeling good. Or she didn't come in until 11. When she came in, we were busy. And her and I were talking. She's like, I do not feel good. I said, tell you what, when he goes to send me home, I'll stay for you, and you can go home when I'm supposed to go home. I stayed until 8:30 that night. Here's where it gets. So, I ended up checking into the Airbnb where I'm in now at 9 o'clock at night. I unloaded everything I had in my car. Then I drove all the way to where I was staying at in the hotel with my dog. I picked him up, picked up the remaining of the items that were in there, and I came and drove all the way back across town. I unloaded the truck, I unloaded my dog. As soon as we got here, he started going to the bathroom because I fed it. He hadn't eaten all day, and I felt so bad. And so he went to the bathroom, and God had me move the puppy pads from where I had them to the bathroom. And I thought, okay, there was a closet door, and I thought the closet door opened, and I went to pull it open, and it didn't open. I was like, oh, okay, so they must have taken that space for someone else's room. They did, but not for what I thought. And so everything was fine Sunday because I didn't go to work until 11. So I was cleaning up constantly and taking care of everything that my dog was doing. Well, when I went to work, I had fed him late in the late in the midday. So he ended up pooping, and I didn't get to clean it up until I got home at 9 o'clock. At 9:30 when I got off work. So the next day, I woke up, which is Monday. I woke up on Monday. I went out to the kitchen to get coffee, and the women were in a tizzy. And I was standing there, I was like, okay. Next thing I know, they're like, do you smell that? Do you smell the dog smell? Are you in room 8? Are you in room 9? I'm like, no, I'm in room 8. And then the lady says, oh, it smells really bad, and I think it's the man in room 9. I was like, well, I'm in room 8. And I said, and I make sure my dog is very clean. Like, I take care of everything, make sure that he doesn't smell. The woman she's like a day porter, so she's here until like noon, and then she goes home. So she took me around the house, on the side of the house where it smelled, and she showed me the room that was adjacent to my room. And I noticed at the bottom, there's no seal. And I was like, oh my goodness. So me putting him in the bathroom to poop, actually, all of that went into that room, which is why the hallway smelled, which is why everybody was in a tizzy. But the lady who was complaining about the smell looks at the cleaning lady and says, no, it's not her. It's the other man. And I just looked at her like, you don't like the man in room 9. And you're going to use this to try and get him out. Which reminded me with a passage that said that Jesus didn't come. In his second coming, Jesus isn't coming to make peace. He is coming to put father against son, brother against brother, mother against daughter. And that's exactly what I witnessed in real life. I walk into this house where people were minding their own business. But he had me create a situation that made me feel uncomfortable. I don't like being in confrontations. I've been in confrontations my entire life. I've had people accuse me of being a miserable person. I've had the woman who raised me used to tell me that it would have been better if I had never been born. That I was like my father. I was only here to cause trouble. And I remember last night when I was at work. Let me back up. So, the owner of the house doesn't live in the area. She has a caretaker that comes in and stays here during the day and then leaves for the night. Well, probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she sent out a text to to all of the people who own dogs, asking us to wash our dogs because there was a complaint of a strong dog smell. Now, if you've ever smelled dog poop, it doesn't smell nice, but it's very distinctive. The fact that they thought that it was the dog that smelled and not someone's dog who pooped, only God. So I was like, but Father, why did you tell me to put it in that bathroom if you knew? Because he knows everything. And I talked to him. I'm like, you knew that was going to create a problem. And he just smiled. Like I could feel his smile. And of course, I was so embarrassed. And I was so but God wouldn't allow me to take the fall. He said, keep quiet. But I'm like, but it was my dog. I'm allowing innocent people to be accused. And he goes, are they innocent? In their hearts, are they innocent? I'm like, you're the only one that knows that. Exactly. So keep quiet. So I did. So at 2 o'clock, I get a group text from the owner saying, please wash your dogs. I respond with, of course, definitely. She then sends me a specific text to me asking if I can get my dog bathed on Tuesday, which is today. And God said, tell her that's fine. Okay. And then he had me respond with, tell her that you weren't able to get into your groomer until the afternoon on Tuesday. Okay. So I don't have a groomer. So I told her, and I don't argue with God. Whatever he says, I do. I am a servant, 100%. If he told me, walk on these hot coals, I would walk on those hot coals. So I went to work, and I was still worried. It was still on my mind. What if my dog poops while I'm gone? What if things happen while I'm gone? And now, I'm being told that I need to move out. I don't have any money. And in that moment, whenever I start to feel scared, whenever I start to feel worried, I say, Father, I leave it to you. If it is your will that I end up out of this place with no place to go, I will sleep in my car. I will do whatever you need me to do. And I said, but I am scared and I am worried because I don't want to lose the place I'm sleeping in. And then all of a sudden I got peace. The woman then sent me a text to me at 5 o'clock saying, can you please make sure to wash your dog tomorrow? And so I told her, yes, I can make sure. And then he had me reply with, I couldn't get into the room until 2 o'clock. Now, mind you, between the time that she sent the first text and the time that she sent the second text, God had sent me to the store to purchase cleaning products and to purchase timed scent releases. And he goes, okay, buy this, buy this, buy this. I literally spent $100 on pretty much cleaning products. And then he said, you always eat food at work, so just buy sandwich stuff. I'm like, okay. So I did. I bought sandwich stuff. And so I then I came home, or I came back to this place, and I started cleaning. I cleaned the floors, and especially right where the doors, the what would have been the closet doors, there is a gap on the bottom about an inch thick, about an inch wide. So everything that goes on in my bathroom goes right into that room. And because that room is closed for many hours at a time, the smell permeates. So if you have bad smells, the bad smells permeate. And so when the old person opens that door, it's like, yeah. So wow. God has been showing the number 1010 to me. 10, 10, 10, 10. He's been giving me dimes. He gave me 7 dimes once. But he's been giving me dimes recently, which tells me that my time where I am is almost up. When is it up? I don't know. But he wanted me to say something else. There was an agreement between me and my spouse of 150 days. I did not know when that 150 days started. But I do know 3 days ago, he showed me 150. And it was on the 8th. New beginnings. Here we are on 1010. And seeing and witnessing in real life the chaos that God is about to unleash. They went into a tizzy over dog poop. But in reality, what they're smelling is their own stench. Because no one said it was dog poop. Everyone said that it smelled like a rotten dog. My dog doesn't smell. And he has had me stay at different places. And when I leave, every single one of those places, except for the one that complained about the dog smell, has asked me to return. The lady that owns this place was very kind when I let her know that I was not going to be able to wash my dog till the next day. She was like, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for taking care of it. Because by that time, there was no more smell in the house. So then, when I got home, God sent me into the hallway where the room is that was where the odor is coming from. And he says, do you smell that? I'm like, yeah. Doesn't smell. I'm like, oh my God. So then I walked back into my room, and he said, okay, now spray it down with this. And he goes, because what's going to happen is that smell's going to go underneath the door. I'm like, okay. So I did. I sprayed it. I sprayed the door where I came in. The room does not smell. And so now it's like, okay. And this is where it gets. So yesterday I was consumed by worry. And I kept praying to God to take the worry away. That I left the worry at his feet. And I said, but God, if it's your will that chaos be created, then let it be your will. And at the end of the night, this family came in at work. This happened before I was getting, before the end of my day. And I've come to understand that there is a level of service that God wants me to bring every day, but not to everyone, only to certain people. Because I've noticed that sometimes I'll become like a robot and I'll just take the order. I don't really interact with the person. But then there's these people that come in and I'm just like overjoyed, and I just have this light that comes out that I can't stop it from coming out. But it's certain individuals that bring it, that when they come into the store, God lets me shine. And it's like, so this family came in last night, and I could see that they were all a very loving family. They cherished each other, they cared for each other. And the children were taking the parents out to dinner. And the dad ordered what he ordered, and everybody was commenting on what they wanted to eat. And then the dad turns around and he goes, okay, it's your turn to pay. And the son goes, oh, okay, I got it. And I looked at the son and I said, oh, you've been put on the spot. And the dad was like, yep, they got to pay up their own bill. And I was like, that's good. So the young man paid the food. But apparently it was supposed to be split between two brothers. And one of the brothers said, I forgot my money in the car. I'll be right back. And this is what I witnessed, okay? So the young man runs out. The other brother, the younger brother of the two, only in appearance. I don't know if he really was the younger brother, but he steps up and the dad says, no, he's coming. He'll bring the other half. He goes, no, Dad, I have enough. And the dad goes, okay, that's fine. So he put up the money to pay the bill. And then, I gave him his change. And I said, well, have yourself a sleep. I'll bring out the food as soon as it's ready. And the brother got there. And so the two brothers are talking about, what they owe and whatever. And one brother says, look, keep the $4, just give me the 20. And I witnessed them doing this. And the dad goes, are you sure that you're going to be okay with him not paying you all of it? And he looked at his dad and he goes, you know what, Dad? He covered me on this other thing the other day. I'm okay. And he goes, all right, that's fine. And I realized that those two parents had taught their children to respect each other and to be honest with each other and to trust each other. When you build trust in a family and you build love in the family according to God's will, He is going to ensure that your family unit stays together. Now, these boys were not married. They weren't old enough yet. But the mom and the dad were giving them the representation of what a marriage is, according to God. The father and the mother respected each other. They didn't talk over each other. They didn't undermine each other's authority. But instead, they played into each other's strengths. I've seen many families come through the restaurant. And some families, they're chaotic. The mother is forcing the dad to place the order, and the dad is kind of irritated and resentful for being put in that position. The kids are yelling at each other, or they're talking over each other, or they're talking over the parents, or they're trying to lead the parents. And I'm just like, wow, Father, that is... And he goes, and he tells me, he goes, do you see the family that I'm in and the family that I am not? And do you see the ones that act like they are in me, but I am not in them? And I said, yes, Father, I do. It is really sad. And so at the end of the night, my boss says, go clean the bathrooms, and then you can go. And because that's usually our thing. I get everything done in the store that needs to get done, and then he gets me to the bathrooms at the last. And that's usually around 9:30, because it gives him time to do his work. And he knows. He's like, she gets everything done, and the things that I have to do for her are very minimal. Whereas everyone else, he has to send them home, and they haven't done anything. Or he has to choose to keep them. And if he keeps them, now it hurts his labor. So he likes to know when I'm on his shift, because he knows I'm going to take care of the majority of the work and leave him the simple stuff. The stuff that would have been left for him anyway, because he'd have been washing dishes. And anyway, so I went to do the bathrooms, and the lady was in the bathroom, and I was, making sure the bathroom is clean. And I went to the men's room and I cleaned that, and I came back out. And when I got to the front, and then I told my boss, I'm like, the bathrooms are done. Another big group came in, and I was like, oh. So I helped them, took care of their order, and I got some orders that needed to be picked up, so I took care of those. So I didn't end up leaving until after 10 o'clock, which was fine, because his labor was good yesterday. And when I went to go get my tips, and I was like, where did this tent come from? I'm like, okay. So I put it in my pocket, because I immediately, full circle. And then I went into the bag and to drop off some dishes, and my boss says, the people that you were in the corner, I'm like, yep. They said that you took care of them so good, that you were so nice to them, that they wanted to take care of you. So they gave you a $10 tip. I'm like, I saw that. I was like, where did this $10 tip come from? And he goes, yeah, you did a good job tonight. I'm like, okay. So since Friday, I have been making boxes for the pizza, because I work in a pizza restaurant. I have been the only one making boxes. I mean, there have been people that have made boxes, but not like me. I have filled racks of boxes. And so there's another boss. He's the one that hired me. He was working until 6 o'clock. And I looked at him and I said, you know, I feel like I have stocked this box, that I have stocked this store with boxes like 3 times every day I've been here. And he goes, you have. He goes, you're the only reason we still have boxes. He goes, you come in and you make boxes. You help people. You work the phones. And he goes, and you still make boxes. And it's not one stack of boxes. So we do stacks of 13. There's 4 stacks of larges, 4 stacks of extra larges. So 13 times 4, well, technically times 8 is 208. Then we have the smalls, which are another 4 stacks of 13. And the mediums, which are another 4 stacks of 13. Another 208. Plus, we have another rack where we keep boxes for them to use throughout the day. And I fill those up. So when I fill the top racks, I maintain the rack that they're working on so that they don't take anything from the top. And then I like to make boxes that are extra so that if they take something from the top, I can refill that top with the boxes that are extra. I haven't been able to keep extra boxes in the last 3 days. It has been a whirlwind. So what is going to happen in this season, God has been showing me. He has been leading me to come into situations and set things off and then stand back and watch without speaking. 10:10. Full circle. It was a year ago that I gave myself completely to God again. It was 40 years ago, last year, from when he asked me to walk his walk. Where I'm going or what I'm doing next, I don't know. Because since my last day, he hasn't been giving me the unction of where I'm going next. He's just waits until it comes.